Hello. Well, I've been already presented. My name is Jordi. I'm from Spain. CTI, it stands for it's a innovation funding agency from Spain and the Ministry of Science, Innovation and Universities. And what I'm going to do here now is to present a bilateral joint call program in infra and transport, and I think it's going to be very interesting for those of you who are in this sector and are considering to have a joint R&D cooperation with the Spanish institution in general. Moving into the topic that I think is more interesting for us, I think it's the cooperation projects, what we understand for international cooperation. The idea is to develop the idea of the applicants is to develop a new product, process, or service to be jointly exploited in the market. So we are expecting that the outcome of that will be something that will have an outcome from the consortium developing that new product, and has to be done jointly. So there is a need in the consortium to be at least participants from Korea and participants from Spain. And that's how it's going to look, the call. So it's kind of breaking news. The call is not published yet, but the call will have this this first page presentation, which is the first Korean-Spanish joint call for proposals. It's the first time that we have a call between CTI and Kaya on infra and transport, and will be published early next year, so stay tuned here. And you will have like 2 months or so to prepare your proposals and submit them. The topics, pretty much they cover everything. I mean, in the call you will see all the topics. You don't need to take pictures if you don't want to, because that will be publicly available. And these topics, they don't say much. Actually, we've been working a lot with Kaya on what we should be putting here. It's based on surveys. It's based on our approach from Spain, consulting with companies, consulting with an engineering platform there, saying what we should reflect on the call. And you can see that it says many things, and probably it covers absolutely everything, for as long as it's within the topic of engineering, construction, and transport. Tentative dates for the calendar. January 12, tentative. There will be, it might happen that there is a change, but I don't expect any changes. There is a small legal processes behind that, but I think it's pretty much fixed already. So you will have like till February 26, so 2 months to prepare what is necessary to submit a good proposal. So you can start now, knowing that the call is coming. So if you have contacts in Spain, you can start calling them and saying, hey guys, call is coming. I'll do the same in Spain early next year. The same seminar to tell them that to call you and start working on the proposals, because well the call will be already announced, and basically now what we expect is you to submit good proposals, and we'll provide all the orientation, all the guidance you may need to define this project, joint project. So then think about that. The projects, they need to have an approach from R&D, from research and development. And when I say research and development, I expect industrial research and technological development. That means technology readiness level, those who are familiar with that, no, from 3 to 6. What is the meaning of that? Job done in the lab, small scale, large scale prototypes, close to the environment, and prototyping of systems and subsystems. Further than that, we in CTI in Spain, we cannot provide any additional funding, because abiding by the European Union regulations, once there is no R&D involved, so meaning that there is no risk, we cannot provide additional funding if we don't want to incur in dumping, because it's one market, so we have to be very careful with that. So TRL 6 is okay, TRL 7 for CTI is not good, in terms that we cannot provide any additional funding from that TRL onwards. Consider that when you define the project. Doesn't mean that the Koreans, if If the Korean side is fine, I mean, you can put it, but will not be able to support from Spain. The duration is 2 years and a half, so until December 28. And think about the equilibrium. It has to have an equilibrium between the task in those work packages across the timeline, which will be reflected in the Gantt chart, with the adequate cost and budgets for that, and making sure that everything is well streamlined, and you will not have any holes in between, so you will deliver milestones and deliveries right on time for each period, and you accomplish the technological challenge that you are putting there as the objective. The funding is decentralized. I guess you understand that. Kaya will support you based on Kaya's own funding schemas, and will support the Spanish consortium. Then for the consortium, the eligibility of the consortium is what I said before. It has to be entities from the 2 countries, at least one. At least one. In Spain has to be a company. It is one company and one entity in Korea. Then you can, for as long as you need additional participants in the consortium, they are welcome. So you can add as many as you need, including research institutes and universities. They are all welcome to participate in the consortium, so to make sure that the consortium is very solid, very strong, and the project itself can deliver and achieve results. And there is one point here, which is over here. I think it's important that for us, why CDTI and Kaya to consider cooperation, the project has to have an equilibrium. The ideal project is 50-50, but that's very hard to achieve. It's never 50-50. So it means that the consortium in Korea may have a deviation compared to the Spanish consortium, but the maximum deviation may have a 70-30. So we more or less we estimate between 1 million and 1.5 million. So if one has the project is the total, so you estimate 70-30, and means that the Kaya will be around 700,000, 800,000. Spain maximum deviation will be between 500 and 1.1 million or something like that. So there will be a margins that you can adjust to make sure that there is not one consortium higher than this 70% or lower than 30%, right? So just take this into account when you build the budgets. Then concerning the documents that you have to submit, there will be a common application, which is the SKIT application in English to understand the overall project as a whole, Korea and Spain. So you will have to submit what the Spanish companies are going to do, what you're going to do in the project in some sort of detail. So for us to understand the overall project. Also to submit a consortium agreement. It can be an MOU or some sort of agreement or template that you have already in place, but make sure that you sign them, and if you have some sort of, I don't know, legal issues, that's to make sure that you can refer to that to solve any aspects that you may be considering them. And then, of course, the local documents, the full project proposal. But that one, at least in Spain, is to be submitted in Spanish, and I guess in Korea is to be submitted in Korean. And any additional documents that respective funding agencies they may require you to complete. And all that has to be done through the electronic application system. How is the evaluation take place? I can tell you about the Spanish evaluation. So there are 3 pillars. The first pillar is the technical evaluation, which accounts normally for half. So the technical challenge and the degree of innovation. 50%, that's the most important pillar that you should target on when you prepare the proposal. Then there is a second one, which is the implementation and methodology. So make sure that all the participants are there, they add value, methodology, the deliveries over time, the milestones, the Gantt chart, that everything is any contingencies and so on So make sure that everyone is in place. There is a coordinator, and the coordinator understands how to manage the whole consortium, and so on and so forth. And then the last pillar, which is close to 25%, is the market. So how you're going to achieve that, and how you're going to make money out of that. So business plan. So how the consortium will come up with a good, sound business plan, and each one of the participants will make or take benefit out of that achievements produced by the joint R&D project. So in which markets, how you will reposition your companies in competitive terms, patents, if there are any patents, and so on and so forth. So everything has to be well reflected there, and the addition of that will tell you if the project is good or not good. So that's binary, pass or no pass. If you pass, you will have a proof, and then the project will be funded for the period that you have agreed. And how to find Korean partners? We are going to establish. It's already established, actually. In LinkedIn, there is this group. I don't know if are you going to distribute this presentation to everyone here? Okay, that's good. Then you will have this LinkedIn. Click on the LinkedIn, and if you have any idea for cooperation, submit it there. So I'll do the same in Spain, so they can also log in and check what you're proposing, and vice versa, right? So we'll see the Spanish guys proposing things, and they will see you on your proposals. Or you can directly send me any email, drop me an email, and then I'll try to answer you the best way I can. And I think that's the last presentation. Yes.